how to beat Luton Town. That's the question we're asking this week on Where Tigers Walk. We're also looking at the Opta stats and discuss how far Hull City underperforming and asking these guys to grade the summer transfer window before we get on and talk about the January transfer window. So welcome back. Football's back this week, Jack. Are you looking forward to the Luton Town game?
I would, yes, I am. If it was a couple of seasons ago, then probably not. But with the downward trajectory of the club, I think it's going to be a bit of a better encounter this time around. I mean, the drawing points of us, so it's you'd think that it'd be a bit equal, but again, it's Hull City, and I say every single week, you can never predict us to win.
Yeah, I've certainly never placed a bet on Hull City this season, that's for sure. Matty, this was the team that started 2 weeks ago, of course, against West Brom. Difficult to ask this question, but which players get the heave-ho and what would you change to beat Luton?
Can you change the full? Can we change the full 11?
Oh, Pando's all right. Come on, change the other 10.
Pando's done good, to be fair. I think the only kind of question mark I would have in that is Abdouche. Is he contributing as much as he could do? But we are really struggling on that left-hand side in terms of a player to come in on and kind of fill in that side. Hopefully Kamara will be back and he can come back onto that side. But we'll see. I think Burstow actually did okay. He did okay in parts on against West Brom. Thought he did okay, but he's more of a striker. But he did all right. I think the bonuses, we've got Longman back as well. I know fans are a bit kind of either way with him, but it gives us a different option. I thought he came on, he did okay. I don't think there's an awful lot I would change from that team. They are creating chances. We're just not finishing them. So, but I think I mentioned the other week about Pedro. I think he's there. I think if we can give service to him, he will get us goals. So I don't think you can change. There's not an awful lot to change, particularly with the injuries we've got as well to key players in those wide positions. So yeah, go with what we got.
Ben?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, it'll be a similar lineup. I think I agree with what Matty said. The only change I'd probably look to make is Abdouche. He was on such a high last season, although he didn't really score any goals or get any assists. But I know he's not been played in the right positions and all that sort of stuff, but he's just not quite done it yet, unfortunately, because you can tell he's got something there. But yeah, I think probably someone like Longman or Kamara to come back in and fill in that spot.
Okay. Before we move on, don't forget, we love your subscriptions. We're trying to get, he's there somewhere. We're trying to get to 200 subscribers this week. Please help us out if you can do so. All right, Jack, up to stats. I know you love your stats. Have produced this quite interesting chart of league where the teams should be in the league based on their expected points. And of course, they've calculated their expected points based on their XG in games, both obviously for and against. Now, Hull are smack bang in the middle there. I thought the interesting thing here was that your expected points is 5 points higher than what you've got at the moment, which suggests that either you've conceded goals that you weren't expected to, or you've not scored enough goals that you should have done. Does that match, Jack, what you've been watching in games, that story?
Well, definitely. I mean, if not, we probably would be lower if it wasn't for some individual qualities to get us back into games. But yeah, I mean, we all predicted high, and look, we've got low, which is another example of why we need a big change with our team. But yeah, it's been anything but disappointing this season, and I'm quite frustrated, especially given that it was promised to be high, and especially after Rossini got sacked and he finished 7th, so we're all expecting to be higher than 7th. So actually, no, that's probably a bit of an exaggeration, but was expected to be high, and we're not. So it's like a bit, deflating, really.
Okay. The other bit I wanted to ask you about was we were heading, Matty, now into Christmas. So we're going to be talking to you about the transfer window for January shortly. But that means we've got to wrap up our discussions on the summer one. I've asked you this a couple of times now, and to be fair to you, some of you have said, "Oh, well, we can't because we've not seen all the players, and they haven't been fit." But I think 15 games is enough time now for me to get a definitive answer from you all on it. So going round, Matty, starting with you, out of 10, how good was Hull City's recruitment in the summer transfer window?
Not good enough. Not good enough at all. I think I probably early in the season give it a 7 or an 8, but I'm probably looking at about a 3 or a 4. I just don't think we have recruited some good players. So like Bellumi and Miller, I think have been positive, but I just don't think. And I think it's a really strange one. We've signed 3 people on loan. Zambrano's not going to be able to play for 2 years. We've got Finley Burns that we've signed. He's not even played. Strange one. We signed another goalkeeper, Rushworth, who's not played. That's 3 loan signings that are completely wasted when we needed a striker. We desperately needed that striker. So, there have been some positives, I suppose. Charlie Hughes has come in, done really well. Drama's probably been one of, I'd say, best signing free transfer. So, yeah, it's just, I think individually it looks good, but then collectively it just hasn't worked. So I'm sticking with a 4. Poor.
Okay. It's a big drop from 7, isn't it?
Awful,
Ben, I think you were at 7 or 7.5, if I remember rightly. Where are you now?
Probably about the same. I'd say 4 or 5. We've had enough time to see the majority of the players play, and it's just not quite there yet. I think 4 or 5 is fair because the system that they've been brought into just doesn't really work. Some of the players, like Matty said, there's a lot of individual quality, like Bellumi, Miller, João Pedro has also been good for us recently. But yeah, it's just not the best window. We, like Matty said, we were dying for a striker and we left it too late to get one, and then we ended up signing João Pedro on a free, which has sort of worked, I suppose. But yeah, it's just something we need to improve on.
Okay. Jack?
Well, there's actually an article in one of the football blogs after the transfer window, and they rated us really high. I don't know why, but I mean, if they've watched us this season, they'll probably be a bit annoyed with themselves for rating us so high. But yeah, I agree with the lads. It's very low. The bar's been set very high, and now it's just dropped low. So I'm going to go for a 3.5 because I don't know. It's just I don't know. I can be pessimistic, but yeah, if we're not playing well, if we're not getting the points, then there's no reason to put it any higher.
Okay, right. It's all very fair shouts. You're the biggest drop off, I think, of all the clubs we've asked from where you were to where you are now. I think QPR probably have only had the worse recruitment window perhaps than you guys have, and you can see where they are. All right then. Finally, hypothetically, we're asking you to choose a Championship manager which you would love to have at Hull City based on the other 23 that are available currently at the moment. Jack, let's start with you.
It's got to be Sunderland's manager. I can't remember his name, but if they're top of the league, then I love a bit of that.
Okay. Bit of Regis Labrie. Okay, Ben?
Yeah, someone like that, I'd say. Either him or... I don't know. I was going to say Chris Wilder, but then I don't know if someone like that would work at City because obviously his ties with Sheffield and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I think I'd agree. Reggie Labrie or Regis Labris, however you say his name, the French fella at Sunderland.
Cheese, named after some
Matty?
cheese. I think we looked at the list, didn't we, last week, and I'd still like to say someone like John Eustace. I think he's done really well at Birmingham, and he's doing wonders at Blackburn. Probably on a smaller budget than what we've got. He's got them playing, you know, I think I tipped Blackburn for relegation this season, and they're going to be nowhere near it. They're going to be pushing up that league. You know, Michael Carrick's doing a great job at Middlesbrough. I think he's had a bit of a rough time. I think they went through a little bit of a rough spell, didn't they? But he's kind of turned the corner with them. So, you know, young English hungry managers. That's what I think we did have one, didn't we? But you know, that's what we're crying out for, I think. So one of them two for me.
All right, good shouts. Who would you prefer? Put them into the comments below. Right, a short one this week because we haven't got any football to talk about. We'll definitely be back next week, as of course we review how that Luton Town game has gone. Future's bright, future's orange. Let's fingers crossed for a brand new start after this international break. We'll see. I just came to me.
Yeah, but is it Luton orange? Is it Luton orange or?
Oh, it could be,
amber?
couldn't it? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It'll be amber.
Amber and black.
Amber,
Yeah.
there you go.
See you next week. Thank you very much for watching.